Hi. 3 years have passed since I bought my brand new Suzuki Vitara. 3 years of driving and almost 50,000 kilometers traveled on roads and off-road. It's time to summarize my experiences so far and share with you cons and pros regarding car build quality and reliability. This will be a series of 3 movies going into detail with each part of the car. I want to give you as much info as possible. If you want to skip some parts, you can use index to reach section that interests you most. Let's start from the exterior of the car. We must take into consideration my style of car use. I park my car under the roof in a collective underground garage. It's not exposed to snowfall and rainfall. I also wash it practically as soon as it gets dirty, and this happens almost after every trip outside of the beaten roads. On average, once every 1-2 weeks, so I cannot say that the bodywork was heavily exposed to winter road salt or high humidity and wet conditions. On the other hand, it has more than usual contact with mud and branches. The underneath also hit ground from time to time, but it's not very heavy off-road use, rather casual. Car paint of the metal parts. Good news is I do not see any chipped fragments. After examining the silver body paint closely, there are a couple longer scratches which I haven't noticed before, without closer look. Fortunately, nothing very deep and probably to be removed with some polishing. Silver paint is good choice to hide any imperfections. Some parts of the car I have covered with foil. Comparing the foil covered door with not protected ones, the one with foil looks more scratched, but car paint underneath most likely is not affected. Probably I should invest money in covering at least all the doors of the car missing the foil. Silver paint is rather strong, but not as durable as I would hope. But as for now, no major deep scratch fortunately, but also, I'm really trying to drive slow and very carefully when touching bushes. Bumper paint is not noticeably affected. Also, rear trunk cover and hood have no traces of scratches. They are less likely to be touched by branches. Piano black. Now let's look at the top half of the car, parts covered with piano black. Unfortunately, a closer look shows the signs of scratch nightmare. This black car paint looks cool, but it's extremely scratch unresistant and you can see scratches everywhere on it. There are mainly micro ones, but literally, it looks like there is no place without scratch. From some distance, you will not notice them as much, as they are very small and visibility depends on falling light direction. But if you are a perfectionist, you should cover piano black parts with protective foil. Having full silver paint would be safer option, but not so good looking, like silver black mix. Roof. On the roof you can also see some micro scratches, but due to the high location, they are practically not noticeable. I wouldn't worry about that much. Remaining cosmic black parts around windows survive rather well. There are some light micro scratches visible, but far less than on piano black, not much more noticeable than on silver paint. Front bumper. With front bumper I hit ground a few times and it was soil or minor stones. Nevertheless, there is no sign of breakage, only plastic is slightly scratched on the bottom. The only visible damage is abrasion of the car paint, which I managed to catch in the parking lot. Yet, you should be cautious with hitting it too hard, even it will withstand. After one of the hardest hits, the radar system mounted in the front bumper stopped working. Warning appeared in dashboard, but it repaired itself after about an hour drive. Overall shape design of front bumper could be better. It would enhance terrain capabilities if its bottom part would be a bit higher and shaped more like in example in Dacia Duster. This is not a reliability problem, but worth to mention as it limits unnecessary front attack angle. Rear bumper. As far as I know, I did not hit anything with it, but it survived a parking encounter, which caused bumper to bend and jump out of the hooks. After applying some force, it straightened and jumped into its place. However, there were wrinkles on the plastic and minor damage on the paintwork. Even after this small parking accident, he didn't crack. Rear bumper is placed quite high and has good attack angle. It is hard to hit it from the underneath. Both bumpers seem to be done from durable plastic, not prone to cracking and rather elastic. Quality of build I can rate high. Body durability. The thickness of the metal on the doors is rather low. As a result, the door is light as a feather. Unfortunately, the thickness of the sheet has an influence on its impact resistance. You can see that under pressure of my fingers it bent without any problem. Let's look on the damages I have collected. The first one here came from hitting the door in the parking lot. The paintwork was only slightly damaged, but you can clearly see a dent in the metal, which is not easily repairable at this point. The other side looks much worse. At the top I have a point hit from the branch, which also didn't damage the paintwork, but caused a visible dent. It was created when bigger branch jumped out from under the wheels and hit the door. The strength was not extremely high, but it managed to damage the door. You can see that the sheet is very soft and thin. Now let's look at the bottom of the door. Here again a large trunk hidden in the grass jumped out from under the wheel and struck the bottom of the door. Even the bottom plastic cover did not help. The door is dented in a certain area together with plastic cover. Workshop have said it's not repairable and I will need to replace doors. Nevertheless, I think doors bottom plastic, in my opinion, are good buy. While they do not protect against stronger blows, they protect against lower branches and small stones. I don't see major damages on them besides deformation caused by trunk hit. Plastic door protection is a mandatory purchase if you would go to off-road. In other parts of the car I didn't manage to get any hits, but I can tell whole side of the car is not durable. More durable seems to be hood and trunk. Unfortunately, the opinion that Suzuki metal cover is so thin that its durability is close to cardboard is not far from the truth. I believe that this is a serious disadvantage for the car which we would like to drive off-road. Rims. I have a painted version of the alloy wheels and of course I did not expect any great durability. There are abrasions where the branch or stone has been hit harder. Nothing very deep or qualifying the rim immediately for replacement. Just a matter of aesthetics. Maybe if they would be not painted, they would be more durable. Chassis durability. Most of the underside of the car is covered with semi-flexible plastic, which seems to withstand my mistreatment well. It did not break despite all the weight resting on it few times. On the bottom side of the underneath I don't see any major damages or scratches from branches or stones. Of course there are some shallow scratches, but nothing that bothers me or is very visible. The steel front bottom cover of the engine looks quite intact despite multiple hits. It is definitely a good and recommendable purchase. It costed around €200. The rear differential cover also cost around €200. For such a small piece of metal, it's a very high price. I believe it gives minimal protection. In addition, the screws, the way they are mounted, tend to hook the ground, which certainly does not help when you're stuck. You can see in my other video where I tried to get from situation where car hanged on the bottom and screws were not helping. I have mixed feelings about this cover. It gives a little bit of protection, but those hook bolts nullify the advantage. Also, this cover and differential mechanism itself are placed quite low and it has tendency to be hooked up by the ground. This could be maybe better designed, to be placed a bit higher, but I am not sure if this is possible when you have 4x4 drive. After 3 years, I had 2 noticeable damages to the chassis. First, broken exhaust pipe hook, which resulted in exhaust leak, but was easy to repair on the spot. The cause of the damage was too high speed on uneven rocky terrain. The second damage was the cracked plastic of the wheel arches, also caused by too high speed on uneven surface. To sum up, the undercar has worked well so far. The grand rule to protect it is control speed in order to limit acting forces. Door seals. Now let's take a look at the door. The seals appear intact after 3 years. I also did not notice any leakage, bad fit or squeaking when driving. Everything is fine. Closing the doors and trunk. The door closes just like it did at the beginning. They are very light, you need to use some force to close them. Trunk is light as a feather, and you need to use as well some force to close it. Any obstacle in its way and you are unable to close it, or you need to use major force to slam it. In my opinion, it's too light. Anyway, I don't see any misalignment of doors or trunk as for now. Lights and headlights. In 3 years I haven't changed any bulb, not even once. This proves a rather good quality of the power supply system. It does not cause overloads or some other problems. Mostly I don't see traces of water vapor in any of the headlights, except one time I noticed it in one of the daylights. I hope it was only one-time problem. Transparency seems unchanged. Safety systems. After 3 years, all safety systems appear to be operating at an unchanged level. Reverse camera is placed in well-protecting spot. Frontside camera placed behind front glass will remain intact unless you would crash front glass. Front radar system in the bumper survived as for now all lighter bumper hits. Blind spot sensor and backside radars are working fine, and I still have no idea where exactly they are mounted. In the end, my little subjective summary. Car paint, where silver or cosmic black, is good, but piano black parts are average at best. Bumpers are very durable. Body durability is not good, mainly due to very thin metal cover of the doors. Rims are fine. Chassis is mostly good, only rare differential placing could be higher. Door seals are very good. Closing of the doors and trunk is suboptimal but manageable. Lights are mostly very good. Safety systems still works without issues. That is all for this part of review. Inside of the car, mechanics and costs I will discuss in the next one. Thanks for watching and please remember to place like or subscribe. Bye.